Hey everybody. I had a lot of people ask me about my bike. I have a 96 DR 350. Had a few people ask what I've done to it, and I bought this about 1.5 years ago, and when I started working on it, I was kind of new to the motorcycle scene, getting back into it after 25 years. Decided to go back to something I had years ago, and ended up with this. I picked it up with about 7,000 miles on it, and it was in okay shape. It needed some work on it, but I thought I'd just go through some stuff real quick and show you what I've done to it, and kind of give you guys that may have a bike like this some ideas on where you can get things and what you can do to them and what I've done to it. So here we go. We'll start up front here. First thing we did, bars were pretty bent up when I got them, so we put some Pro Taper bars on it. We've got double take mirrors, which are wonderful for off-road. You can just fold them right out of the way, pop them up when you need them. They work really well. We put some Tusk handguards on it, and then I replaced the handguards with the integral turn signals because I didn't like the funny turn signals that were on it, and so it's kind of made the bike a little sleeker. Looks a lot better. We've also changed the front fender. This is actually a RM250. I think it's a 2001 Polysport front fender. It bolts right up. I don't recall any modifications I had to make to it, but it kind of looks a lot better than the stock fender. In the back, we also changed the fender. We've got a Mayer rear fender, and both of those I got through, I believe, Motorcycle Superstore. On the back, we've got the Tusk license plate, tail light, brake light, license plate holder. You can see that gives you a really nice bright brake light. And then we added the low profile turn signals, which I kind of like that because where we ride up in the mountains and stuff, I didn't want to risk dropping it and breaking tail lights and having to replace them all the time. Fortunately, that doesn't happen too often. We changed the sprockets out. This one comes stock with a 1541 gear set. This is the street legal version, so it has the 1541 set. We swapped it out, and right now I'm running a 14 on the front and a super light 43 on the rear. Got an X-ring chain on there. Put some new rollers, chain rollers on there. My last trip out, I broke my chain guide, so I had to try to find one of those. That took a little bit of doing. Carburetor mods. These have the CV carb, and so if you're going to ride them off-road, you really want to do the mods to these. I've got a Six Sigma jet kit in it, which I don't necessarily think that you need to go that far. You can go pick up jets at your local parts store and do it yourself. There's plenty of information online about the modifications to these, but it does help once you get them jetted correctly. I have the 3x3 airbox mod on this. I also have a unifilter in it, and then, as you may have seen on the other side, it came with the FMF Power Core exhaust, so we just needed to open up the breathing on it. Stock jetting on this, it had a 32.5 on the Pilot and a 127.5 on the main. I'm at 4,250 feet above sea level. I ride regularly up above 9,000, sometimes 10.5's about max I've been. Right now I'm running a 40 Pilot jet and a 140 on the main with one spacer under the needle. The needles in these don't have clips, they just have the spacer washers. So, but at this altitude, it still runs really well, and even up 9,500 feet. Also changed drilled out the fuel screw cap, because these are fixed, and you can see right here we've got an adjustable fuel screw that we put in that came from ProCycle. We added some new Motion Pro fuel line with an inline filter. Also had to replace the clutch cable not long after I got it and started riding it. I was on the road a few miles away and snapped the cable end off and didn't have a clutch cable, so we got a new Motion Pro cable on that. The other thing about these bikes with the 90s color schemes, obviously they're not the greatest. This one came with a wonderful purple seat. I wanted to put a Seat Concepts on it, and I found other things to spend my money on. So I decided just to dye it. So I went and got some seat dye, and it was by Duplicolor. And as long as you go through the instructions, there's a seat dye, or a dye prep that you used, and then you spray the dye on it a couple of times. And I've had this out multiple times since I've done the seat, and you can see it's starting to scuff through now, but for the amount of rides I've got on it, and as hard as we do ride it, I think the seat dye's held up pretty well. At least I don't have to look at that purple, and it's easy to touch up. So you know, take it off and touch it up and be done with it. The other thing that I really like on these, I wanted some real aggressive street legal dirt tires. These are DOT approved. These are the Kenda Parker DTs. They come, let's see if I can get an angle. You can see the side knobs, how deep those are. I don't hit the corners real hard, but this tread is probably about, I don't know, I'm probably about half worn now. And I've got almost 700 miles on these tires, and the vast majority of these miles are off-road. So they hook up really good. They don't chunk out like a lot of the tires do. I've got a couple of small chunks in them, but nothing major. And you know, out here in the Utah West Desert, up in the mountains, where we ride, you know, mostly single track and just out in the desert, it's really rocky, a lot of sharp rocks, and these tires are proven to hold up really well. Here's a shot of the front. When you first take them out on the street, they're a little squirrely. First 150 miles scrubbing them in was a little weird on the road, but they're not bad now. I've run them down to 13 pounds on the rear, 14 on the front off-road, and haven't had any problems with pinch flats. They track really well in the corners. They do okay in the soft stuff. I haven't really tried them in the mud, but on the hard pack and in the rocks, they work exceptionally well. These are actually set in the medium, or in the intermediate direction. I've read that they run better in the hard direction, and I probably should have set them up that way, but this is how I set them up, and they still seem to do fine. I may flip this around and try to get a little more traction off the backside of these for the last half of the wear. But overall, it's been a pretty good bike. It's fun to ride. Power seems to be okay. And we'll turn it on here and see if it'll fire up. If I can have my helper here hold the clutch. So, pretty fun bike. It was good to get back on a bike after all these years and get back to riding. It's been really fun. So. So it runs pretty good, but anyway, that's my bike and some of the stuff I've done to it, and then just finish it off. I just wanted to throw a couple shout outs to a couple other channels that kind of got me motivated to get back into riding, and that I've got a lot of information from. And So I'd like to thank them and give them a shout out. Everide channel was probably my biggest influence to getting back into riding. From his channel, I caught on to another one called MrDuhfactor, and he has got a ton of stuff about rebuilding bikes and suspension work and, you know, just about everything. He actually did a rebuild for Everide and did an awesome job. He's a great guy. Colorado Dualsport, I found him through Everide channel. He's got some fun videos to watch. They get together and ride down in southern Utah, and then CDS also has a lot of stuff out in Colorado. One of our other local guys that I watch quite a bit is the Dirt Bike channel. And Kyle from the Dirt Bike channel puts out some awesome videos on bikes, maintenance, a lot of riding videos. He does a lot of single track riding up in the mountains of Utah, and it's really has some good videography, as does Everide. And then lastly, a little farther down the way, Australia way, is the Cross Training and Enduro Skills channel, and they have a ton of information on riding, getting your riding skills up to par for, you know, off-road. They do a lot of trials, a lot of hard enduro stuff, but it's been a wealth of knowledge to pull from those channels, and so just wanted to thank those guys publicly for helping get me back into it. And then if you want to see this bike, I guess in action, if you do a YouTube search of EM Razorback, there's a few videos by JMoto78 that has a couple of our rides, and so you'll just have to kind of find that channel, look up a few of the videos, and you'll see this bike in action, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Thanks guys, check you out later. Bye.